What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the 95 North Sports Machine. Man, it's on a sunny Friday afternoon, different settings. Got the camera off, but I'm at a place of business right now. But it's not going to stop us from
Right.
talking this Falcons football. You feel what I'm saying, man? With me, as always, is my guy Antoine Smitty Smith and that guy Chris Tip Moore. But we got to elevate ourselves, gentlemen.
DAT.
We are in the presence of a historian. That's Ryan, the historian, of course, from that illustrious Birdcage LLC. Ryan, what it do? Thank you for joining. What's up with you, man?
Man, what's going on, man? Thank y'all for having me on the podcast tonight, man. I'm touring today. I'm so used to working at night, man. I done woke up out of the casket or
Hey man,
whatever like
sometimes
a
you gotta pop
vampire.
up in the day, pop out in the daytime. Come on now.
Hey,
I
man,
pop out. Y'all pop out.
but you know what? Y'all got to get y'all boy TJ, the Saints fan, to pop out because look, we already 1-0 up on them boys. We about to go 2-0 on them ain't. So TJ, you hear
Okay.
what I'm saying? I need you to come step to the Birdcage LLC. I like what you do, brother. But the disrespect to my dog Smith and the Falcons got to stop, partner. I'm just letting you know that now. We're
I'm
going to
calling
hand y'all
you.
another L and pull out the brooms, dog. So that's out for TJ, baby. What's up, man? Love your content, though, brother.
Dang,
Yes,
man,
sir.
we just got ourselves a promo, man. He's calling you out.
Hey,
Oh
man,
shit,
look.
man. Promo
All
indeed.
views are good views, if you ask
There it
me.
is. Absolutely, man. Oh man, but this little show is brought to you today again. Piggyback off of a topic that we missed out on Wednesday night's collaboration with Black Panther podcast. Shout out to Goat and Big Q, also Clay Ropp as well, who joined us on the show that evening, which is the X Factor. And that's what we're going to be bringing to you this afternoon. Is giving you some X Factors for this Sunday afternoon matchup. I don't know why I said night, but Sunday afternoon matchup versus the Carolina Panthers. So, Smitty, Chris, Ryan, man, X Factors for Sunday's game. We'll start with our guest, Ryan. Ryan, advantages for the Falcons. Who's your X Factor? One offensive, one defensive.
Well, I'm gonna be a little different like I was last night on the Birdcage LLC. I got two for offense. One is a unit. The offensive line unit has to pretty much keep Kirk Cousins healthy and help keep this running game. The other one's going to be Zach Robinson because his play calling
Yeah.
pretty much is going to dictate the pace of the game, and not just the pace of the game, what we're going to dictate what we're actually going to do. So at this point, I think that these two units are the most important for the Falcons because we know what we're getting out of the receivers. We know what we're getting out of Kirk Cousins. We know what we're getting out of the backfield. But with the injuries that we've had on this offensive line and pieces that have been interchanging left and right, we've got to make sure that we're all in sync because, again, that offensive line should take advantage of this banged up defensive front as well as Zach Robinson being able to get some things squared away with this play call. And he's getting it together, and I think he's going to do a great job.
Excellent. Chris, what you got, bro?
Well,
Actually, wait.
I'm kind of like going with as far as like on offense. That's why me and Ryan, man, we kind of like brothers from another, man, because we kind of on the same tip. I'm going unit wise, and I want to see Zach Robinson and the offense, and that's including Kirk Cousins, the offensive line, all put together a complete game. You know what I'm saying? 509 yards for Kirk Cousins against the Bucks. That was great. I think Zach Robinson did a great job with the play calling. Again, remember, first time play calling, former quarterback coach, former quarterback. But at the end of the day, he still went toe to toe with one of the best defensive minds in the game in Todd Bowles. So I got to give him his credit when it's due. And with that being said, I want to see consistency and chemistry continue to flourish like it's supposed to be like this coming Sunday, man. This is a get right game. Remember, I was saying that
Yes,
all day
sir.
long. Get right game. People are calling this a trap game. The only way this is a trap game is if you trap yourselves. And I don't think the Falcons are going to do that. Get right game. Be better on third down on both sides of the ball. This is the time to do that. This is the time to, to get a little bit creative in space with some of your skilled players to see what they can do. Get used to scoring touchdowns in the red zone because you're going to need that as the season progresses. So, like on the offensive end, that's definitely where I'm going as a unit. Everybody, get that chemistry to go. And just like Ryan was saying, pieces have been interchanging. So we have to have that chemistry as a team. Get right game against the Panthers. It's division. But at the end of the day, you supposed to, wipe your feet off on the mat against teams that are not as good as you. And this is a Carolina Panthers teams that are not in the same stratosphere as the Atlanta Falcons.
Absolutely correct. And you just can't play down to a team level, man. That'll get you beat every time in the NFL. If you're an upper echelon team, and I think the Falcons can be that. But my X factor, and I'm gonna give a shout out to Uncle Louis, man. Uncle Louis Algier is in the chat. Rise up, my brother. And I'm gonna give my X factor to his nephew, man. And I've been talking about Tyler Algier for the last 2-3 weeks. And again, running the football is going to be key. This has been the Falcon bread and butter the last 3 years. So why switch from that? You use Tyler Algier to pound the football to wear down this Panther defense that's missing their key man in the middle, and that's Derrick Brown, who's out for the year with an injury. So you have to take advantage of that. If you can establish the run game early, that sets up the play action. That sets up no huddle. That gives Kirk Cousins a chance to put this team out front, jump out fast, and I think that's absolutely going to be key for this game. This is one of those games, like Chris said and like Ryan said, you can't play down to their level. So go ahead, try to knock them out the water early, get it over with. The quicker you do that, the better you come out as far as injuries, as far as learning your rotations. This is a game that the Falcons could learn a lot about themselves. These type games are games where you can, get your rotation in order to see who meshes the best. You would do that as the season go on, but these kind of games, with the score being out of hand, a lot more players get more playing time. So I'm thinking, Tyler Algier and Bijan Robinson are going to be key for this game. As far as running the football defensively, you got to get that pass rush going, man. You got to, no doubt about it. No doubt about it. Matthew Judon has to get his game going, and to do that, the interior line has to collapse the pocket better. Grady Jarrett, David Onyemata, Harrison, and I can Dorless, Ruke, anybody that's on that defensive line, you have to collapse the pocket because guess what? You're likely going to be without Trent Anderson again. Caden Ellis is probably going to be the middle linebacker. Then you have the rookie J.D. Bertrand. So with those guys behind you, guess what? You're going to have to step up and get these guys lanes to run through to pursue the running back or get after the quarterback or whatever need be. Also for the defensive back, if they use a defensive back blitz. This is why the front seven is going to be key. So run game on offense, front seven on defense, mainly the defensive line are my two X factors for this game.
I love what you guys said on all points. Y'all gave me some seasoning to go ahead and cook on this one. So this is where I'm going. I'm going to piggyback a little bit more off of what Smitty just said. I'm looking at a Panthers rushing offense that's 19th in the league, averaging 110 yards rushing per game versus a Falcons defensive line or unit that gives up 148, putting us at 29. To Smitty's point about the pass rush, that's where it starts. If we want to see anything happen with the pass rush, that run defense has to do its job on Sunday, first and foremost. Chuba Hubbard, respected running back across the league, can put in some work, can run. He's been a successful running back in his own right. So the Falcons have to shut that down. And that's a way to start, getting comfortable in this game. That's what probably we'll start to see maybe the pass rush come to life. We saw the emergence, or we saw Rook last week, a breath of fresh air into this Falcons defensive line rotation in the second half of the Tampa Bay game. We need to get him going. We need to see what he can offer in that run defense that obviously has been an eyesore for this Falcons. Again, ranked 29th. Mm-hmm. So collectively as a unit, that's my X factor is the front seven. We need to get better at run stopping. So that way it puts the Falcons defense in more favorable spots of third and long. That way Jimmy Lake can get in his creative bag, if he has one, to get these exotic looks and blitzes going. Because right now we're only showing one or two blitzes. It's either Ellis is blitzing off the edge or it's a corner coming off of the edge. We're not seeing anything creatively, but that's because we're not allowed to because of these third and manageable spots that the offense puts against this Falcons defense for the opposing side. Now, with that said, I'm going to go into my X factor for the offense. Now, I know that the Carolina Panthers are reeling a bit on the defensive side, and of course, they're going to put out a full arsenal or just roll coverages to Darnell Mooney and Drake London. So I look at guys in the slot, guys as an inline. So Kyle Pitts and a guy of that's been golden for us, Ray McLeod, as that third receiver to go ahead and exploit this Panthers defense a little bit more. So I look for a big game, dare I say 100+ yard game for Ray McLeod this weekend, based off of the injuries that Carolina has and how much this Falcons offensive playmakers on the outside, Darnell and Drake, have broken out. So it leaves room to eat for guys like Ray, guys like Kyle. Hell, even the running game, like y'all have mentioned, who knows? X factors can also be on the offensive side, Algier and Bijan. But I'm gonna stick to Ray McLeod. I think he's the next guy in line to break out for 100 yards. Hell, we could have Kyle Pitts and Ray this week break out for 100. Last week we saw against that Tampa Bay game that it was Drake and it was Darnell. This week it could be on the flip side. So those are my X factors: the run defense for this Atlanta Falcons, and for the offense, Ray McLeod, Kyle Pitts as my X factors breaking out for these Falcons, folks.
Fellas, I got something for you. This is for all the Falcons fans and everything like that. So people in the chat, comment on this as well. But I'm about to set you up for this one. So, okay, defensive line definitely have to stop the run. Defensive line definitely have to get after the passer. Like we said on our preview show on Wednesday, 3.3% is the Falcons sack rate, which is last in the league for sacks and everything like that. Again, this has to be a get right game for the Atlanta Falcons, because if you can't generate pressure to knock Andy Dalton, forget pressure. If you can't generate sacks against Andy Dalton and this beat up offensive line against this team that is not a good team, guys, will it be time to really and seriously start looking into a guy on the other side of Judon? Yeah. If we can't generate anything against Andy Dalton, and this is a very important game for the Falcons because it's a get-right game. That means on all levels, all phases of the game. So if we can't generate pressure, it may be time to look in the mirror and say, hey, guys, we don't have anybody on the other side of Judon. We just don't.
Can I start off this one right quick? And Ryan, I know you chomping at the bit because I know you got something. I know you about to go in on this too. But for me,
please, please go in.
I gotta look elsewhere, and I gotta think the future, right? We have Matt Judon, we have Justin Simmons, we have Richie Grant. We got these impending free agents. We don't want to rent any players and give up any more draft capital for next year. As it stands, we have a first, a second, a fourth, and a seventh, if I'm not mistaken, maybe a fifth or a sixth, something around it. So we don't have the full echelon of draft picks, right? I think it starts really with what I spoke about earlier, and it's getting better in third down defense, getting better in this run defense, helping this defense get into those favorable spots. And I'm talking third and second, third and short, third and fifth, things of that nature. And in terms of generating a pass rush. Now, what I am about is ending the experience of Lorenzo Cardo and Arnold Ebiketie at that other side, because, brothers, they're not inspiring. They're not playing inspired football whatsoever. But what we do have is a kid that was drafted out of Oregon, one of the more disruptive defensive linemen in the draft that has yet to see the field. And I will love to see what he can bring to the table. Lining him up on one side exclusively with Zach Harrison can probably, liven up this pass rush. Now with pending guys coming back from injury, Landman and soon to be Troy Anderson back, this would probably now allow Caden Ellis to play exclusively on the outside and have that Landman and Anderson duo in the middle of this defense. Will that strike fear in folks' heart? Probably not, but it's all on Jimmy Lake and how creative he can get to generate a pass rush. And as we've seen, he sends pass rush, blitzes from all levels, predominantly the secondary. So it may get home a little bit more now, but I'm kind of against the idea right now of acquiring, a play or a pass rusher when we have some options in house. We just have to give them time to develop. That's just my piece on that.
Then we lost Trice too at the beginning of the
Yeah.
season, so that's another thing that possibly hurt. He probably been taking snaps from really both of those guys, honestly, by now.
Yeah, no doubt. Go ahead, Ryan.
So I'll say this, man. Berto's talking about the pass rush. I'm gonna go ahead and talk about it. You got to get your linebacker depth in order, because right now the linebackers and the offensive line are the two units on this team that depth goes up and down. We just got Rashawn Evans back. My thing is, you need to explore Devin White right now. Devin White just got cut. You can get him for pennies off the dollar. You have a guy that is experienced as a linebacker and was a top linebacker on a Super Bowl championship team. So he understands what it's like to be in a locker room of success for number one and knows what you have to bring. Here's the thing. Trey Anderson had one great game. Great game. I'm not hating on him, but it's not consistent. It's got to be consistent. This is a guy that is an athlete that is learning how to play linebacker, ladies and gentlemen. So it's no hate. You need to bring an experienced linebacker in here to teach JD Bertrand how to play in this game, how to develop his eyes, how do you shoot an A gap, how do you shoot the B gap, how you're able to get off a 300-pound lineman and still make the play, or force a running back to get into garbage, is what we would say, pretty much in the traffic with your defense. This has to change. Linebacker play definitely is key for the front seven. This key. You have to get your linebacker unit right if you want your front seven to be right. Because if your linebackers aren't right, nobody on this defense is going to be right. Because your linebacker is supposed to be your extended coach on the field, middle linebacker at that. And when you look at the secondary is pretty much the heart of the defense. It is the heart of the defense. They're always and routinely making turnovers. We need to see our linebackers making turnovers. We need to see our defensive line making plays. We need to see this. Better tackling up front. Let's get this straight. We've seen our linebackers get run through, and that's not good. You've got to wrap up. You've got to be fundamentally sound. You've got to get better at this, because when you get teams that can actually run the football and play bully ball like us, that is what's going to be key down the stretch. Now, the other thing I got for you is this. Outside of Devin White, if Zach Harrison is not going to get the reps, you got to explore and see who's coming up on free agency. You guys talked about Myles Garrett and Max Crosby. Then you have Azeez Ojulari, another guy who you could bring in that could actually fit the system that we run and still be disruptive, and you can get them for cheap. Because if you're not trying to give up draft capital, give up somebody for the cheap. Let's get somebody for the cheap at this point. So all I'm saying is this. The young guys are going to have to learn, but the way that they're going to have to learn, you've got to have people in front of them that have done this before so they can tell them how to generate pressure or be in these situations, and to also make tackles when they need to. Because let's keep it a buck. Yeah. Your boy Michael Penix Jr. is sitting back and learning from Kirk Cousins right now. Absolutely. And guess what? He's going to be ready to go because he's going to know what to do because he's looking at a consummate professional. Now, when the game slows down, he's going to be dangerous. And you've got to do this with your young players on defense as well. Some of those guys can't be baptized in fire like that. So that's all I got so far.
Right. Right. And you talk about the linebackers. And this is going to be key for the game as well. Berto threw out a stat as to what they're giving up a game. What they're running for a game. I think you said 110 yards. That can be a little bit deceptive. Because Chuba Hubbard is number 5 in the league in rush yards right now. He's averaging 5.8 yards a carry, and he had 97 yards against the Bears. Even though they got blown out, he still had a good game. So this is something that you have to look out for. If he gets it going early, guess what? You're gonna be in trouble, because if he can get their run game going, that means Andy Dalton will get time in the pocket. That means the defense they'll be on their heels just a little bit if he gets it going in that first quarter. So this is something that you have to watch out for. And I talked about the linebackers earlier with JD Bertrand, Nate Landman possibly coming back. Troy Anderson is still going to be out with a knee injury. So we could see a little bit of Rashawn Evans as well. But those linebackers against those Carolina running backs is a matchup that I would keep an eye on, because, like I said, Chuba Hubbard is playing as one of the better running backs right now. So that's just something to keep an eye on going forward.
Yeah, definitely. And but another thing too, even though he has been good, this offensive line is beat up coming into this week, and they lost their center, the right tackle, somebody that's been there since 2017 is in question. Hopefully, that'll be able to slow them down a little bit as far as their chemistry and camaraderie to run that run game, and hopefully, it'll be an advantage for the Falcons.
Right. Absolutely correct. Absolutely correct.
I'm
Berto,
not
you
giving
got
up on
anything else?
Zach Harrison though, man. I think Zach
Oh
Harrison's
no, no,
still
no, no,
going to
no,
figure it
no.
out.
I get what you're saying. Oh yeah, I get what you're saying.
No, and I think that we have a good brain trust on this coaching staff that they'll start figuring that out and start limiting other people as far in terms of snaps and stuff like that. Yeah, yes, Zach Harrison has popped, a little bit more on field and stuff like that. So in this game, like Chris, like we said, like you said so much on Wednesday night, it's a get right game. This is also a game to start formulating what rotation works going forward, because you always got to think ahead, even though you don't ever overlook the opponent that you're playing on hand. But it's also a good time also to start thinking in the back of your head, okay, this rotation right here with Grady lined up next to Rook is working in the run defense with Omanyata manning on the other end. Let's formulate this. Let's keep this going. Let's keep that trend going. So yeah, it's a get right game to say the least. The Falcons definitely have to they have to go to the drawing board, man, and figure out what works, because what's not working right now is this run defense, and that's one of the things that concerns me. Is the reason why I strongly believe this pass rush can't get off the tarmac, because it's not working the right way, folks. But if anybody else wants to add anything else, please, the floor is yours. Go right on ahead, Ryan. If you'd like to mention anything else, bring up a topic, you're more than welcome to, brother.
So here's the thing I got a topic with. This is the thing that comes with us. We've also got to stop killing our momentum offensively. When we have something going, we have to continue to keep our foots on everybody's neck, period. Because there have been drives that we've been on and Kirk was cooking or Tyler was cooking or Bijan was cooking and you went away from it. Get my gas right there, bro. You can't go away from what works. You can't go away from what's working at this point. And at this time, all I can say is when you talk about going away from what works or whatnot, that kills momentum. And when you kill momentum, you leave points on the field. With the offense that we have, and this is without Rondale Moore, this offense is already scary, and they're just learning how to play together right now. I said by week 7, everything's going to be clicking. Everything's going to be clicking. The latest is going to be week 8. Now, the thing that I think that has to get better, and, like I said, you got a first-time offensive coordinator in the booth. This is what you need to have him do. You've got to have him during the off time. Like Steve Wilkes hangs around our team. He hangs around the building. He's going to have a job eventually in Atlanta. Might not be this year, but next year. Guess what? Have Steve Wilkes to lean on Zach Robinson. Even though he's a defensive coach, he's also been on the offensive side of the ball too. He was a college quarterback. So this man can tell you how to attack defenses. This man can tell you how to have rhythm in games. Because when he took over the Carolina Panthers, which they did a disservice to him by firing this man, I'm okay with it because guess what? They're not good. If he would have stayed there, they would have been a problem. But what I'm saying is this. Lean on this man. You're a young OC. Lean on this guy. Learn from this man. Because at the end of the day, when you have that type of experience that is being bequeathed to you, you've got to take advantage. What do you think Jimmy Lake is doing? You got over 20 years of experience just with Jerry Gray alone, as well as him being a former first-round pick and was one of the elite corners in the league at the time when he played. So, again, you've got to bring somebody in here that's been around the block once or twice to school your young coordinators. This is the thing. No disrespect to people that love analytics, but I'm going to tell you just like this from being a former player, being coaching and doing so many other things, analytics can only get you but so far. You are what you're marinated in. If you come up under a football coach, you will understand how to call a game. You will understand how to deal with momentum swings. You will understand how to really relegate time management in a ball game. So when you don't have much time, you know what plays to call to get it right. One thing I suggest, start using the 2-minute offense, aka the K-gun offense that the Bills used at one point, and just and mix this in with your offense and have more up tempo, because Kirk performs a lot better in that rhythm. You know, he showed that when he sliced up TJ's New Orleans Saints. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the ball game, same thing he did against the Yucks. Yeah, I said it. I ain't hiding from it. It's the truth. Kirk cooks when he don't have to think.
Give it to him.
So
that's
all I got for you, man. TJ, I want you to come visit me, dog. We got to have a conversation and some beignets, bro. We got to do it.
I think
Man, don't talk about them beignets. Them beignets.
I'm about to say people come together over beignets, man.
Why you think I said beignets? Because guess what? We ain't coming together about our teams. I
Nah, that ain't gonna happen. That ain't gonna happen at all. But man, get right game, man. Falcons, get right, man. Get right. Get those penalties right. Get them third downs right. Get used to scoring touchdowns and give Koo a rest this game. How about that? Can we give Koo a rest this game?
Nah, because he still got to kick the extra points.
There we go.
Shoot, man. Yeah, I mean, he can. Yeah, that's still rest. Yeah, extra point would be cool, but you know, it's in all the 50-yarders and all that stuff like that. Let's give Koo a rest this week.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, that's good for his leg, man. He got to do what he got to do.
Hey,
that's what he
just in. D. Alford was cleared for concussion protocol, so he'll be able to play Sunday against the Panthers.
Awesome. I do feel like we suffered a little bit from D not being in there early in the game with Antonio Hamilton coming in, but you know, yeah, I mean, it's honestly, I mean, I understand, and I'm gonna give Antonio Hamilton some grace just because he was kind of flushed out there, and he's going against a guy who possibly may be a first ballot Hall of Famer, and Mike Evans. So I mean, it's a tough ask, but I feel like he'll be better moving forward. But yeah, the offer was definitely missed.
Yeah, man, and that's playing out of Antonio Hamilton Sr.'s strength, man. He's not a slot corner; he's an outside guy.
Right.
You know, only rare breeds can do. You know, have the flexibility to play in and out. You know, Jalen Ramsey's one of those guys who can play in the slot and on the outside. So not everybody can do that, man. But man, we hopefully we delivered as promised. It's a quick X Factor game. If anybody else has anything to chime in about, please. Again, the floor is yours. We'll be ending the show soon. So Smitty, you got anything else you wanna add on?
Nah, man, I'm just ready to get this W, man. Like I said, jump out to a quick start, get the game with over early, and let the defense pin his ears back and get out the Andy Dalton, because that banged up offensive line, man, that's going to cost them. I talked about Chuba Hubbard just a little bit, but if you make them one dimensional, hey, that makes the game easier, make the game go by a little quicker. And if they can control the clock with their run game, that helps with injuries. That helps with them going into next week against Seattle, man, which is going to be an even tougher game.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. But Ryan, man, we definitely appreciate you taking your time out of your Friday afternoon, man. Please shout out the folks. Let them know where they can find you, man. Drop your socials, bro.
So before I drop the socials, rest in peace to Mr. Pat Fisher. When you talk about cornerbacks or whatnot, he was one of the most elite corners in the league, played 17 years, played the most games out of any cornerback in the league, played for the St. Louis Cardinals first, then the Washington Redskins, helped lead them to the Super Bowl back in 72 that lost to the Dolphins. Man, never missed a game, never missed a practice, and should be in the Hall of Fame. 56 career interceptions, 4 touchdowns, and over 400 yards returned on that. So prayers and condolences to his family, my families that I have family all down in Florida. Prayers out to you guys that were hit by the hurricane. Definitely thinking about y'all. But you can check out myself, the Magnificent Birdcage crew, on the Birdcage LLC YouTube, 8 p.m. every Thursday. We're on after every Falcons game as a post-game show called The Party Line if we win, Benediction if we lose. And then we also have the pregame meal that we do where we let the fans come in and chop it up with us. So check us out. Help us out. You know how we get down. You either get right or you get left.
Love to hear it, man. Make sure y'all go and support Ryan and the Birdcage LLC on YouTube, man. Chris, man, let them know where they can find you, bro.
Hey, man, Chris Tipmore, A1 Forever Sports. That's the platform on YouTube. You already know, be generational, because it's always time to be, and don't you settle for less. You can always have more with the vision. And, you know what I'm saying, shout out to the bros on here, so of course, as always, the usual suspects. And Ryan for coming on, man. We've been waiting to get him on for a minute now, so it's great that he could be a part of this pop-up video. Prayers to everyone who's still suffering from Helene. Honestly, like Asheville, North Carolina, for Zach, I know they're still suffering. And for the people that were suffering from Milton, like everybody, just be safe. If you can get out, you know what I'm saying, other areas, get out if you can. Your thoughts and prayers, and you know what I'm saying, are with everyone. And of course, you know, other platforms you can find me: Twitter, A1 Forever, Instagram, A1 Forever, and the real A1 Forever on TikTok, man. Peace and blessings to all. And you know what I'm saying, again, pop-up video. Happy to be a part of this again with the fellas again.
Beautiful, man. Beautiful.
I absolutely sentiment what y'all said about Tampa, man. We talk about football and battling the Bucks all the time, but at the end of the day, it's about family. And sometimes that's what sports does the best. It brings us all together. So and shout out to James Hill, my NFC South roundtable compadre. He's down in Tampa. So once he answers back and let us know he's okay, I'll be good and fine. But again, prayers out to people down there in the path of the hurricane, from Florida all the way up to Carolina, and continued prayers for y'all. But y'all know where to find me, man. Smitty Sports Machine on YouTube, and also Fatboy Slam _21 on Twitter, man. Y'all know I blows it up because that's what I do. But again, man, prayers out to those in the path of those two hurricanes. It's going to be a long journey, but trust me, like I tell y'all all the time, man, keep faith in God, because when you keep faith in God, He's going to put you in the right direction. Trust me on that.
Before
That's
you
true.
wrap
That,
up,
man.
before you wrap this up, I don't know if everybody sees this, but Kevin King has just been released by the Falcons.
Oh, breaking
Kevin King
news.
released by the Falcons. Not surprised.
Nah, he'll be back. He'll be back
I
on the
mean, he's
practice
probably
squad.
gonna be on the practice squad, but I just wanted to make sure you knew that. So if y'all got him in fantasy or whatever.
Oh
Mm-hmm.
yeah. I ain't gonna lie to you, boy. If somebody got Kevin King in fantasy, boy, first of all, I want to know how deep is that league? My God.
Yeah,
Oh man.
nuts, man. But definitely, man, prayers for those that are affected. And please, man, I know there's some places where folks can donate to a good cause and helping those that are going through such a terrible time. So if you guys have the means, please, I strongly urge that you go out and donate in any way that you possibly can. Shout out to the families, man. Prayers for the families, man. Hope all turns out right, man. But I'm your boy Berto, host of the 95 North Falcons Talk Show on YouTube. You can find me on Twitter under RI Falcons. Also, you're at Bleacher Report content creator for these Atlanta Falcons. You can catch me there around 7:30 on Sunday night, breaking down the game, win or lose. It's going to be a win about this
Yes.
Falcons Panthers game. But until then, then you can catch us, myself, Smitty, and Chris, and who knows, man, a guest or two, maybe more, as we open up the panel on Sunday nights, usually to have the fans come in and vent their grievances about the Falcons game. But please, 7:45, we will catch you then. But until then, we'll give you your Friday afternoon back, and we will see y'all soon, everybody. Peace.